Hi everyone, my name is Kig, and we are going to talk about the new preservation and how to play it in Mythic Plus. First, we're going to go over some basic stuff. This season, the build is focused primarily on getting as much value out of Consume Flame as possible, and that means we're going to play Flame Shaper. With the changes they have made going into Season 2, Dream Breath is much more powerful as a hot, and through that we get a lot of value from Verdant Embrace and Emerald Blossom. Emerald Blossom has been a pretty underused spell in the history of Preservation Mythic Plus due to the fact that it was possible to miss and you lose a ton of value from that. But now with the new Fluttering Seedlings rework, if you miss a blossom, you get some little pity particles to go fly out to your team and heal them. See, there they go. These seedlings will also trigger Consume Flame, which makes them even more valuable. It's important to note that hitting your entire party is still better, so don't go missing your blossoms on purpose just to get more seedlings, as you'll always be better off trying to purposely hit your blossoms. It's just a lot less punishing if you do happen to miss. So real quick about gearing the season, stats really aren't that important. If you want like a basic order to go through, it's just haste is better than crit, which is better than mastery, and everything else is better than verse. Our secondaries are all really close to season outside of verse, and maxed out gear is going to look like a lot of cantrip items anyway from the last boss. All these weapons and all these pieces of gear have some proc effect, and it's just a mess, but it is what it is. For trinkets, you want Soul Coiler's Ritual Vessel and Gebo's Bottomless Bag. There are several other trinkets that are decent, but these two are definitely the ones you want to look out for. If you are unsure of what trinkets to use, if you don't have these two, you can check with either QE Live or ask in either the Prez Discord or my Discord. Let's look at talents now. So we're going to be playing Flame Shaper. It is basically better than Chrono Warden in every way. You could still get away with Chrono Warden in the Season 1 playstyle if you really wanted to. It's just not going to be very supported, and you will probably struggle with healing the higher the key you're in more than Flame Shaper would. Some important things you'll need to understand when swapping from Chrono Warden to Flame Shaper this season are that Tip the Scales is no longer a cooldown. Uh, I mean, it just doesn't come with the haste and all the CDR and everything, so it's going to be a lot less impactful. Another thing is that our warp no longer has the damage reduction because it is just hover, and we lose the temporality passive. And lastly, our chrono flames are now living flames, meaning they will contribute a lot less to your overall damage. Some new things, though, that will be replacing those losses as Flame Shaper are Legacy of the Lifebinder, which gives our Dream Breath and Fire Breath a second charge, Conduit of Flame, which is a pretty nice boost to our crit, and Life Cinders. This allows us to give our ally our Obsidian Scales, as well as the Renewing Blaze that comes with it. And then also, of course, there is Consume Flame. This is where a lot of our healing comes from, so it's pretty important to understand how this works. But basically, your Verdant Embrace will consume some of the duration of your Dream Breath Hot to instantly heal them for an increased amount, and this, of course, also works with Emerald Blossom and Fluttering Seedlings. Now to look at our actual talents. This build is mainly focused on allowing us to consume with Emerald Blossom as efficiently as possible. Notably, we have taken the points out of Time Lord to let us take the Emerald Blossom talents Fluttering Seedlings and Field of Dreams, as well as our new best talent in the tree, Exhilarating Burst. This talent is just really good because the bonus crit we have is Flame Shaper, as well as our new tier set, which we will talk about in a little bit. There really isn't much you can move around in this tree to improve its healing. If you want to do more damage at the cost of HPS, you can try to fit in Titan's Gift, and I may occasionally take a point out of something, maybe Exhilarating Burst or Dream Simulacrum, I'm not sure yet, for just in time for an extra charge of time dilation. I don't really know at this point in time how worth any of that is, just because this build is really good for healing. So while you're learning this spec, I wouldn't stray from this build, as it is just the best for like raw throughput, and it really won't fail you. As for the class tree, you basically have 1 or 2 points to move around for utility spells. The point and stretch time is probably the lowest impact out of any of this, so it's the first point I'd get rid of for some other utility. You may find that Sleepwalk will be needed for some routes, Tear the Skies for an extra stun. You could play with Overoff for a soothe. You can technically play Unravel for the tiniest increase of damage in some really rare situations this season, and it's not that great, but it is something. Uh, if for some reason you need 2 different utilities, the next point you can drop is Foci of Life. I personally think Time Spiral is really nice for your tank on gathers, or even just yourself to have an extra hover charge when you need it, while Foci of Life is a near unnoticeable amount of defensive gain. So it would just look like this. Oh, I want Sleepwalk and I want my stun, and then suddenly there's the talent tree. Now that we've talked about talents, I want to talk about our new tier set. This season's tier set is very powerful. The 2-piece is honestly pretty insane, and the 4-piece is a nice extra benefit. I really can't stress how good this 2-piece is, so definitely be very excited to play with it. Here's my little snip I took of it earlier, because I don't know how to edit things. I don't know if you can even read this, but it reads, consuming Essence Burst sends forth a living flame at your target at 100% effectiveness, or a nearby injured target if they are full health. And the 4-piece is green spells restore 5% more health, and Vertebrace has a 100% chance to grant Essence Burst. What this does for us is it gives us an insane amount of Essence Burst due to the fact that the free living flame we get from consuming Essence Burst can also proc us another Essence Burst. This is just RNG, but you can end up getting like 6 bursts in a row, and it's pretty hype when it happens. This also means that the target of our Essence Burst spenders matter. If we Emerald Blossom, our Blossom target will be getting a free living flame, making our burst a very strong spot heal. The same with Echoes, and even our Disintegrates benefit from this. Now to put it all together, to make sense of how this spec plays in keys. So, first things first, we gotta have our reversions out. The most common way to do this is to cast Temporal Anomaly and put Reversion on somebody. The reason this is our first step is because Reversion has a lot of passive effects built into it. These are things like Grace Period, which gives a stacking 10% healing increase. It also applies our Marithra's Blessing passive, that is a stacking 1% damage reduction and bounce back effect. It procs our Life Spark passive, which gives us instant cast Living Flames. It can proc us Essence Bursts, and it also does us a little bonus of being a hot. The hot isn't that big, but some healing is better than no healing. I can't stress how important this step is to have out before you need to do healing. If you don't have this prepared before damage, you may be too slow on your ramp, and if you're in a dangerous part of the dungeon, the 10 to 20% healing increase is going to really matter. After we've gotten our reversions out, the next step is to prepare a Dream Breath. So Temporal Anomaly, Reversion, and then Dream Breath. You can see we do this by casting rank 1 and getting a nice long hot on our teammates. And this allows us to be able to consume the hot with things like Verdant Embrace and Emerald Blossom. It procs a Marithra's Blessing as well, guaranteed when you Dream Breath. And this is basically just a slightly better reversion that does a nice little extra heal with it. So when it comes to consuming this Dream Breath that we have on our team, our 2 options are Verdant Embrace and Emerald Blossom. I've been using Verdant Embrace mostly as a single target heal on PTR, and Emerald Blossom for the majority of my AoE healing. It is important to remember that Dream Breath will consume regardless if the ally is full health, so be careful not to consume your Dream Breath too early, or you won't have it when you actually need it. So that just looks like this. It's just Dream Breath. I had an Emerald Blossom, and boom, they went from like 19 seconds to 15 seconds. Just as a quick side note, don't forget about Fire Breath. I know this spell looks like a damage button, but on a lot of mobs, thanks to Life Giver's Flame, it does quite a bit of healing. And if you don't know what to do at any point in time because you have, like, maybe you're missing Verdant Embrace or you're missing a Dream Breath because they're just on cooldown, hitting this is a nice filler heal on multiple mobs. It's not as strong on bosses, but it does proc your Leaping Flames that you can use with Life Spark as an emergency heal as well. And Leaping Flames just makes your next Living Flame strike additional targets. This will hit enemies if you Living Flame an enemy, or allies if you hit an ally, and these can also proc Essence Burst. For single target healing, we can choose to either Verdant Embrace or Echo Reversion. Verdant Embrace is a bit more healing, while also committing a longer cooldown, while Echo Reversion is a bit weaker. It is almost always available though. The main reason Verdant Embrace is a more powerful heal is one, it just does more healing because it'll consume the Dream Breath on your target, and two, it leaves behind Life Bind. And Life Bind will transfer 60% of the healing you do to yourself to your partner, which means they kind of passively just get a whole bunch of extra healing with them, and it's pretty good. So you would just Verdant Embrace, they've got the Life Bind, they've got healed, and then if they need more than that, then you just hit Echo and Reversion, and then Echo and Reversion again. And the reason that's a good single target heal is because of Golden Hour. This just makes Reversion instantly heal them for 15% of the damage they took in the last 5 seconds, so this can really add up for some single target healing, especially on something like your tank that's taking damage constantly all the time. If someone's just taking damage, just hit them with a Verdant Embrace and then Echo Reversion, and you've healed a ton. Probably healed them to full, to be honest. It'll be quite a bit of healing. Uh, when it's just one person that's taking damage, this is when I go back to the Fire Breath. Fire Breath healing one guy with a lot of enemy targets is just going to be lay on hands. It's so much healing. And if it's like two people at the same time taking damage, it's kind of the same process. You maybe just want to split those globals up a little bit. Like, let's say Austin Huxworth and Merity Huntswell are both taking damage. Maybe I Verdant Embrace the Hunter, and then I Echo Reversion. I echoed the Mage, and I Reversion the Hunter, so I split the healing a little bit. That way I get that Golden Hour value on both the people. That could be mixed up with, like, maybe you wanted to Verdant Embrace the Mage instead, and then you hit the Echo and the Reversion on the Hunter, just because maybe the Verdant full healed the Mage, and the Hunter needed the rest of the healing. So you're just kind of looking to kind of split these healing globals as effectively as possible. Alright, now we can kind of talk about like the AoE healing part of it. So just to kind of put it all together, to show you how it looks, I'll put my reversions out with TA Reversion, then I'll hit Dream Breath at this point, and right now, no damage was going out. I'm just sitting here. I'm just waiting for something to happen. I'm hitting a Fire Breath. I'm hitting some Disintegrates. I'm just doing stuff. Like, you're kind of filling time. But as soon as that damage starts, go ahead and just put out that Temporal Anomaly Reversion again if you're running low on the hots. And at that point, you can just start hitting Emerald Blossoms. Maybe Austin got hit by Bolt. I'll Verdant Embrace him, and I'll just hit more Blossoms. Because when you have the tier set, that Verdant Embrace to kind of top one guy off, you'll also get that free Essence Burst, so you can hit more Blossoms. But as you can see, I kind of just ate through all of my Dream Breath in a couple seconds with how many Blossoms I hit. So we'll just do that again with Temporal Anomaly, Reversion, Dream Breath, damage is starting. I'm hitting Blossoms with my bursts. I'm out of burst, so I Verdant Embrace for another burst if I had the tier set, and I'm just hit more bursts, and there, all of my Dream Breath is gone, but I promise you, I just did the most healing in the world. Like, I'm just shoving it into these people. They have no chance of dying. But that's pretty much what it looks like. You kind of have to like kind of manage the really squishy people like shamans or boomkins. You kind of those are the people you want to look to Verdant Embrace just to kind of funnel that extra healing into them. You want to make sure to keep this Reversion and Dream Breath up so you're consuming constantly when you need to do healing. That's the kind of stuff you're looking for. Next thing to kind of look at is our cooldowns, which are Rewind, Stasis, and Tip the Scales. Rewind is pretty much just a break the glass in case of emergency kind of cooldown. Being a 4-minute cooldown, it's pretty hard to really rely on this. I often save this for in case I mess up everything else or I just have nothing left. There are even times when I hit this button just to heal one person with a big dot or my tank if he's in danger. Now we can talk about stasis. Stasis is the thing that everyone worries about when they're learning this spec, and I promise you it's not that hard. Stasis stores the next 3 spells after we push it and lets them unleash all at once when we want or automatically after 30 seconds. There are a few stasis combos that we will use this season. The first is Dream Breath, Temporal Anomaly, Bird Embrace, and these spells will all go on the same targets that you picked initially. So if I were to release this, I would Verdant Embrace Merity Huntswell again, and there'd be nothing I could do to change that. So when you're putting that Verdant Embrace in your stasis, make sure you're hitting the guy who you think will need the healing more in the future as well. This stasis is mainly just a big burst of healing. It's like a big healing cooldown. The stasis puts our Dream Breath out and applies echoes to finish it off with a big Verdant Embrace to consume on everyone. It's just a big heal. That's all there really is to it. Another option, which I can't really show right now because my stasis is on cooldown, is Dream Breath Temporal Anomaly Marithra's Blessing. This serves basically the same purpose because it just does a big healing burst as well. It's just a little bit less. But in turn, you get a little bit better reversion up time. You might find yourself doing the stasis combo when you don't have Verdant off cooldown, when you want to start your stasis ramp anyway. So this is going to be a fine replacement if you kind of just get a little jumbled and you don't technically have the best stasis, but I promise you, as long as you have Dream Breath and Temporal Anomaly and some third spell, your stasis is going to do plenty of healing. It's going to put you in a situation where you can succeed and you can hit Emerald Blossoms after it anyway, and you're going to be fine. Just focus mainly on at least having Dream Breath. When you're learning this spec, just focus on having at least Dream Breath in your stasis, and I will be proud of you for getting that far. One trick you can do with our stasis is with our 2 dispels, Naturalize and Cauterize. Putting them in stasis can kind of be gimmicky to refresh their cooldown. The way dispels work in WoW are if they don't dispel anything when you cast it, it refreshes their cooldown. So if I dispel all 3 of my DPS here, after I hit my stasis of course, then when I release it, I'll dispel all 3 of them. And it just kind of works. Even if like I release it and it dispelled the hunter first and my dispel went on cooldown, figuratively, it would still dispel the mage and the shaman after. It won't fizzle. But it also just won't go on cooldown when it's in stasis. So if I dispelled something on these 3 guys like this, this cooldown would not happen. It would be still usable. You can also do this on a single target by dispelling them twice in your stasis and filling it with a random third spell like Dream Breath. You can dispel them in the following order to make this work. First, you put... Oops, that's time dilation. But you put 2 dispels on the target you want to dispel, and then you hit your Dream Breath. And now with your dispel stasis charged up, you would dispel Austin Huxworth, which pretend this went on cooldown because I dispelled an effect. You would then unleash your stasis, which would dispel their new effect, and also dispel again to reset the cooldown of Naturalize, because there would be nothing else after that first dispel. And then now with my Naturalize back up, I could dispel them a 3rd time, and they would have been dispelled 3 times. And this works with Naturalize or Cauterize. So the last thing we have is Tip the Scales. As Flame Shaper, this is pretty lackluster. It basically just saves us a global for max ranking by making our next Empower spell an instant cast at the max rank. I honestly think I use this mostly on Fire Breath just to skip the charge up time and to kind of get my Leaping Flames out faster. But you can use this on Dream Breath if you're really just kind of panicking and want to burst heal. Outside of our healing rotation and cooldowns, we have a few bonus ways to protect people. Our Time Dilation, Obsidian Scales, and Zephyr are all different methods of reducing damage. Time Dilation staggers 50% of the damage over 8 seconds, so they will still take all the same damage, they'll just take it as a dot instead. Be very careful with this ability because it can make people take more damage than they are expecting, leading to some dangerous situations like depleting someone's shield before a big hit, or your tank taking extra damage outside of his own cooldowns. As Flame Shaper, we can cast our Obsidian Scales on our target with Life Cinders and give them a 15% damage reduction, while giving ourselves a 30% damage reduction. We will also get our Renewing Blaze during this, and Your target will as well at 50% effectiveness. This is really good when your DPS don't have a lot of defensives or your tank is kind of just getting beat up and his health bar is going crazy. And finally, Zephyr is a party-wide cooldown that reduces area of effect damage by 20%. Your group does need to be somewhat close to you to get this effect because you only have a 20-yard range on this. So make sure people group up when you need to use this ability. For our utility spells, we have uh, a lot. We have Time Spiral, Spatial Paradox, Landslide, Wing Buffet, and Tail Swipe, and Sleepwalk. We have Oppressive Roar, and we have Rescue. Time Spiral is pretty simple and is mostly just to be used as an extra hover charge, but you can help your team out a bit if they ask for it, or maybe to help your tank gather. Spatial Paradox is a nice tool if you need to specifically pull something from very far away, from like maybe for your tank or just some special trick in the season. Just know you'll be the one who pulls it, so you'll have aggro, so make sure not to get meleeed or kite the mob through other packs on its way to you. Keep in mind this also extends the range of your fire breath, meaning you can pull an entire dungeon with this if you use it bad. Landslide is just an AoE route that goes in a path you choose. Keep in mind this will put the mob in combat when you hit it, so make sure whatever you are using this on is already trying to kill you. Wing Buffet and Tail Swipe are our racial knocks. As Flame Shaper, this makes the mobs you hit with it miss their next auto attack within 4 seconds. It only applies to one auto attack per mob within the 4 seconds, so if 4 seconds pass, they will not care about it anymore and just auto attack anyway. This can be pretty useful as a tank reset if there is any stacking melee attack debuffs on trash. Sleepwalk is our out of combat CC. This works just like a rogue sap or a demon hunter cage. So you can walk on the mob, you sleepwalk all you want, and you won't get in combat. The mob will walk to your location and stop there, so this can be used to move a mob out of the way or extract one mob from a pack if they aren't linked. You can refresh the duration by just casting the spell on the same target again. Oppressive Roar just increases the duration of all CCs during its effect by 50%. It's really good if you're in Discord comms with your team and they call for it before something like a shockwave or a sigil of silence. Or you can just pair this with your own deep breath stun if you have it talented. The spell can also be an AoE soothe if you're talented into overall. Lastly, there is Rescue. This moves your target to a location of your choosing and clears them of any movement impairing effects. This usually is only useful when trying to skip a pack, so there may be some technical skips you can do with this. Something cool about this is it's also a pseudo dispel if there is a damaging effect that also slows like the root on the dinosaur boss in Blinding Veil. It's very useful to rescue a party member to remove the root from both yourself and your target. So that's pretty much all of our utility stuff. Real quick, I'll just go over our damage rotation. It's basically Fire Breath, Temporal Anomaly, spend your Essence Burst on Disintegrate, cast Living Flame to use your Leaping Flames and get more bursts, spend your bursts again, cast Fire Breath again, and repeat. To put it simply, you're spending as many Essence Bursts on Disintegrate to get as many as you can out, while maximizing your Fire Breath charges and Leaping Flames without overcapping on any of those 3 things. So spin bursts, hit Fire Breath, use your Leaping Flames, and you're back to spinning bursts again. I'll just mess up these leeches real quick to kind of give you an idea. We'll just walk up. Of course, we will have Temporal Anomaly to my team to get those rolling. Maybe I'll head to Dream Breath beforehand, just have my hots ready. And now I'll just walk up to the pack. I'll go ahead and start off with a Fire Breath even though I have Essence Burst, just to get the dot out. And then I'll start using my bursts. And then I got a Life Spark proc, so I will Living Flame to get my Leaping Flames out, and then I'm back to bursting. Now the pack's already dead, so I just hit Temporal Anomaly, get my dots out. Okay, thank you for telling me to click the thing. Maybe somebody else can do this because I'm in combat. Alright, team. Let's get to work. Okay, Temporal Anomaly. Go ahead and lead the way, buddy. Temporal Anomaly Reversion. Dream Breath. My tank. I kind of miss my team. But we're up at the pack. We'll just Fire Breath the pack. We'll spend our essence bursts. We have a life spark proc again. So after that, we will living flame to do our leaping flames, and then we will fire breath again. We'll spend our burst. We got a life spark proc again with leaping flames. We leaping flames. Spend my burst, and we're pretty much good. After that, we would just temporal anomaly reversion, and get our fire breath back up, and that's pretty much what that looks like. Okay, stop going. So that's pretty much our damage rotation. Just remember, spin your bursts, try not to overcap those. Spin your fire breaths, try not to overcap those. And spend your leaping flames, and try not to overcap those. I think I've covered about everything. If there's anything you think I missed or have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or ask me on Discord. I appreciate you all for watching this. I didn't do like a PowerPoint this time. I wanted to try this out just because it seemed a little bit better, maybe more interesting to watch. But I will try to put out some early VODs this week of the keys I do with my guilds. And I hope you all have a great Season 2 and have a great time on Preservation Evoker. Bye bye!